Namibia, a land proud of its beauty and unspoilt countryside. Its vast expanses cover a total of 825,000 square kilometres, around 4 times the size of the UK. It is one of the most sparsely populated countries on the planet, with just 1.7 million people, 6% of whom are white. This southwest African country is one of the wealthiest of the continent, along with neighbouring South Africa. The fate of the two countries has always been linked, so it is little wonder that the economic slump in South Africa has been causing some hardship to the former German colony. Locals use the expression, when South Africa has a cold, Namibia sneezes. Falling meat prices have caused cattle farmers a great deal of worry, as agriculture is one of the greatest sources of income, bringing in even more than tourism. As meat prices fall, the battle against wild predators has been stepped up considerably. Lions no longer pose a threat to farmers, they have been wiped out on farming land. A similar fate is now threatening cheetahs because they hunt sheep, goats and calves. Hundreds of cheetahs are doomed to a cruel and painful death each year because farmers have to defend their cattle. They are captured, shot dead or poisoned. Farmers claim that the big cats cause far too much damage. Austrian farmer Joseph Schubert emigrated here 9 years ago. He now owns 13,000 cattle. On our land, we only really have one enemy to speak of. That's the cheetah. They are a menace, especially for the newly born calves. Cheetahs kill for fun. They tear their prey apart, leave it lying there, and then when they've had their fill, they strike again. They can savage several calves in one day, and if we had just a few cheetah families on our farm, we're talking about big losses in the cattle industry. The farmers are always finding carcasses abandoned by the cheetahs, and they make no bones of getting rid of the unpopular felines. We hunt them and keep them in cages. Sometimes they are sold, but we also hunt and shoot them. Farmers do it to keep their numbers down. We have to keep them under control, and the fewer there are, the fewer we hunt. Most farmers don't admit that they kill cheetahs, knowing full well that they are a worldwide endangered species. There are only a few still living in Iran and Pakistan, and in North Africa there are no more than a legend. In sub-Saharan Africa, they have been chased out by man. The national parks offer some refuge, but they have had to contend with lions, a natural enemy which kill their young. 95% of cheetahs die before they are a year old. Most of the 12,000 remaining cheetahs in the world have retreated to Namibia. Their natural competitors, such as lions, hyenas, and most of all leopards, have already been wiped out by farmers there, leaving only one enemy, man. American biologist Lori Marker has decided to make the cheetahs cause her.
Worldwide, farmers kill predators. And so getting the farmers to understand that this is an animal that you can still have your livestock with and manage your livestock and not kill cheetahs, and that the cheetah worldwide needs the farmers here. The farmers, I think, have become quite involved in it. They are realizing that they are the custodians for the world's cheetahs.
Lori Marker has few friends among Namibian farmers, but some of them support her foundation. Instead of killing the cheetahs, they hold them in captivity. Yet this too causes problems, as cheetahs are extremely sensitive. The world's fastest creature on land suffers from afflictions caused by inbreeding.
Their genetics will not cause them to go to extinct. What is causing them to become more endangered and leading to extinction is humans. We as humans can decide whether this species is going to live on the earth for future generations or in the next couple generations become extinct. We as humans have that power.
One of Lori Marker's comrades in arms is the vet Ulf Tubbesing. He is working on a scientific project which focuses on the cheetah's genetics. We think that for some unexplained reason, cheetahs became almost extinct around 10,000 years ago. As a consequence of this, most of them originate from just a handful of cheetahs.
In
my experiments, I've examined leopards and lions as well as cheetahs, and comparing them shows that the other big cats are much less susceptible to illness and eye lesions than cheetahs. Cheetahs have a very low resistance to disease and are often adversely affected by foreign bodies in their environment, whether it is intruders in the bush or pathogens.
Viel mehr anfällig zu sein auf infektiöse Krankheitserreger wie zum Beispiel Milzbrand.
Over 100 cheetahs on different farms are under the vet's supervision. They all need intensive veterinary care in captivity due to their high susceptibility to disease.
Die Wildarbeit macht mir ohnehin
I really
Spaß.
enjoy my wildlife work. It's more like a hobby, really. I don't have time to fit it in around my normal working day. It's very time-consuming. I still have my surgery to run, and treating pets like cats and dogs is much more lucrative for me than running around here trying to stun cheetahs so I can treat them. I have agreed to do it at cost price, which may not make much business sense, but it's a little bit extra. I couldn't take any more money for it anyway. Sometimes you have to follow what your heart tells you to.
Da habe ich dann oft eine Abmachung mit den Leuten, dass ich das auf Kostpreis mache, was geschäftlich nicht unbedingt intelligent ist, aber manchmal muss man auch tun, was das Herz sagt.
Inbreeding leads to various problems and ailments, such as deformities of the spine and teeth.
Hier ist auch eine entblößte
Here's an
Wurzel.
exposed root. This animal would be a dentist's dream. I think we'll have to file that tooth down.
So, hier müsste man
Kann man
eigentlich
die auch abraspeln?
ich wollte gerade sagen, hier müsste man den Zahn abraspeln und dann hinterher eine Wurzelkanalfüllung machen. Es dauert ungefähr 5 bis 10
It
Minuten,
normally
bis der
takes
nach
them
der
5 to 10 minutes to
Spritze,
come
bis der
round
aufwacht.
after an injection.
Die Tatsache, dass wir in
We
Namibia
can't
noch
be
einige
complacent about the fact that we have a healthy number of cheetahs here in Namibia. The cheetah as a species is dying out rapidly in West Africa, so it is of paramount importance that we do what we can to keep them alive. Namibian cheetahs may well be needed to resettle the species in other parts of Africa and the
die
world.
namibische Gepardenpopulation später gebraucht wird, um Geparden in anderen Teilen Afrikas oder anderen Teilen der Welt wieder anzusiedeln.
3,000 cheetahs still live in Namibia. In the 80s there were twice as many, so it was crucial that Namibia's government did something about it. Only 180 cheetahs can be shot legally per year, but the hidden figures are much higher. This taxidermist alone stuffs more than 120 wild cats per year for hunters from all over the world. Nowadays, if you're going to kill a wild animal for a lot of money, then you give it some serious thought about what to do with the fur. Have it turned into a rug, have it tanned, or have it fully stuffed and mounted, which I think is nicer if you've got room for it, and it always keeps its value. In the meantime, farmers have discovered there is good money to be made by handing over the dead cheetahs. They are paid up to $1,000 per animal. The wildlife protection authorities of the Namibian government want to step in. The controlled trade in cheetahs is being seriously discussed as a means of protecting them. Money is clearly the only thing which makes the survival of the Earth species worthwhile. It would be a real tragedy if the cheetahs disappeared because of man's greed.